And that brings us to our first face-off question of the day. Will a change in the Armed Forces Special Powers Act bring peace to the Kashmir Valley? And to debate this, joining me now from Srinagar is Shabnam Lone, leader, People's Conference. Also joining me is Abhishek Manu Singhvi, who is spokesperson of the Congress Party. With me in the studio is our editor investigations, Harinder Baveja. Shabnam Lone, coming to you first. Is this the balm that Jammu and Kashmir needs, removing or partially lifting the Armed Forces Special Powers Act?
First of all, I would like to correct you. I'm not a leader of the People's Conference. I'm an advocate and Abdul Ghani Lone's daughter. Anyway, it's a pleasure to talk to all of you in any capacity. Now, coming to your question, this is a mere political bogey that has been raised by the Congress and the Umar Abdullah coalition. This is a hollow myth which stands exploded in the wake of what is happening in Kashmir for the past 3 months, in the case of what has been happening there today, in the case of this violence that has been unleashed there. It is a simple case of misgovernance. It is history's backlog that is not being understood politically. And this olive branch that you were referring to, Umar has not extended an olive branch to the people of Jammu and Kashmir. It is the Congress coalition. They are extending this olive branch to one another. Because I must say, Army is not responsible for the death of these 70 civilians which has taken place from June till today. Army has not done it. It is the security forces and the police. It is the misgovernance of this coalition that
Abhishek Manu Singhvi, respond to this. Shabnam Lone is saying Army is not responsible for the death of these 70 people. What will either partially lifting or diluting the Armed Forces Special Powers Act do to salvage the situation? Why the Armed Forces Special Powers Act?
Actually, I agree with Shabnam Lone for the opposite reasons. The dilution of the AF Act or other changes to the Act is certainly not a magical button to solve problems. It is not intended to be. It is only assumed by certain quarters, including herself, that that is one of the things being done. I know she is saying that this is just a fig leaf, is not the real thing. The whole approach of the government, the central government and the state government, is that a whole package of diverse measures is required, and we are looking at one by one. Now, I thought this program was about the AF Act, so we're discussing the AF Act. We are nowhere saying that the AF Act is the only answer. Now, let me tell you why. In the last 2 to 3 years, some of the biggest packages since independence economically have been given to J&K. That's one. One of the proposals, one out of many, is to consider modification, dilution, alteration. Now, these are technical matters. I'm not second guessing the CCS. I'm saying this is one of the things being discussed and considered. It is not a substitute for everything else. Number 3, there is at one level, by several quarters, a demand that more and more power be given to the police of J&K and less to what are seen as external forces, the army. At the other hand, you have the other view of Shabnam Lone that no, the army has not done anything, it's the police which have done. Now, you can't have a system where the state government will have neither the army nor the police. There is, of course, certainly a need to sensitize the police to such excesses which happen occasionally. I don't think they are intentional, but this is another aspect. But just now when Kashmir is burning,
Abhishek Manu Singhvi, what the government is discussing is the Armed Forces Special Powers Act. Why does this become so important suddenly? Why is this the olive branch that Umar Abdullah is so desperate to take back to Jammu and Kashmir when it's the Umar Abdullah government that's failed politically? Why punish the army?
This is not a question of punishing the army. This is one out of many steps. However, this step is something which requires a detailed consideration over many sessions. Perhaps an economic package does not require so many meetings. Actually, according to me, what you are seeing at the moment in the government is good governance in a very responsible manner. You have one view, abolish the AF Act. You have another view, dilute it. You have a third view, take it away from some disturbed areas. You have a fourth view, that do something else with some other act called the Disturbed Areas Act of J&K. Now, these are all views which have some substance in them respectively. But what is the government doing? They've had meetings, they've deferred it because this is not an instant coffee solution. It's a very serious and a dangerous thing to do it casually. They are now thinking of a all-party consensus, or at least an all-party meeting. I think this is part of good governance. But at the end of the day, this is only one decision. It is not a
But
substitute for
something that is
economic activity,
extremely
it is not a
crucial
substitute
at
for
this stage,
employment, it is not a substitute for reducing corruption.